You don't destroy your life in one moment. You don't wake up one day and suddenly lose everything. It doesn't happen like that. It happens slowly, quietly, over time, through small behaviors, small habits, small decisions you repeat every day. That's how it starts. Nothing feels wrong. Nothing feels dangerous. Everything feels normal. You're living your life, doing your routine, following your patterns, and because it feels normal, you don't question it. You don't stop. You don't change. But those small behaviors are adding up. They're shaping your direction, your mindset, your future, without you realizing it. That's what makes it dangerous. Not obvious destruction, but slow damage. The kind you don't notice until it's already done, until things feel off, until progress stops, until your life feels heavier, more difficult, more stuck, and you don't understand why. Because nothing big happened. No major mistake, no clear failure, just patterns, repeated every day, quietly, without awareness. That's how lives fall apart. Not suddenly, but gradually, through behaviors that seem harmless, but change everything. So, in this video, we're going to talk about 8 behaviors, the ones that are slowly destroying your life, even if you don't see it yet. Most people think destruction looks obvious. Big mistakes, major failures, clear problems. But that's not how it really happens, because the most dangerous behaviors don't look dangerous. They feel normal. They feel like everyday life. Things like how you think, how you react, how you spend your time. These small patterns don't feel important. So you don't question them. You don't challenge them. You just repeat them, day after day, without realizing they are shaping your life. That's how the damage happens. Not suddenly, but gradually. Through habits you never interrupt, through decisions you don't think about, through behaviors that slowly move you in the wrong direction. And over time, those small patterns become your reality, your mindset, your results, your life. And the hardest part is, you don't notice it, because nothing feels wrong in the moment. Everything feels fine. Until one day, it doesn't. That's why awareness matters, because once you see these behaviors clearly, you can stop them. You can change them. You can take back control before they cost you more than you realize. So, in the next part, we're going to break down these behaviors, the ones that seem harmless, but slowly destroy everything if you let them continue. Number 1, you constantly delay what matters. You tell yourself, you'll do it later, tomorrow, next week, when you feel ready. But later keeps moving. And the longer you delay, the harder it becomes to act, because delay becomes a habit, and that habit slowly holds your life in place. Number 2, you stay in negative thinking patterns. You focus on problems, on what's wrong, on what you lack, and over time that shapes how you see everything. You become more doubtful, more limited, more stuck. Not because life is that way, but because that's how you're thinking. Number 3, you avoid responsibility. You blame your situation, other people, your past. And sometimes those things are real, but every time you focus on them, you give away your control. And without control, nothing changes. Because change only happens when you take ownership. Number 4, you get distracted all the time. Your attention is everywhere. Your phone, notifications, endless content. And because of that, nothing gets your full focus. Nothing gets your full effort. So progress slows down, or stops completely. Not because you can't, but because you're never fully present. Number 5, you don't finish what you start. You begin with energy, motivation, excitement. But when it gets hard, you stop, you switch, you move on. And over time, that becomes your pattern. Starting, but never completing. And without completion, nothing is ever fully built. Number 6, you rely too much on how you feel. If you feel motivated, you act. If you don't, you stop. So your actions become inconsistent, unstable. And without consistency, nothing lasts long enough to matter. Because progress requires repetition, not just intention. Number 7, you surround yourself with the wrong environment. People who don't grow, conversations that don't challenge you, habits that keep you small. And slowly, you become like it. Not immediately, but gradually. Through repetition, through influence, until your standards drop, without you realizing it. Number 8, you ignore what you already know. Deep down, you know what needs to change. You know what you should be doing. You feel it, clearly, but you don't act. Because it's uncomfortable, because it requires effort, because it forces you to change. So you delay, you distract yourself, you avoid. But ignoring the truth doesn't remove it. It just keeps you in the same place. These behaviors don't feel dangerous. They feel normal. They feel like everyday life. But repeated daily, they shape your direction. They control your progress. They define your future. Not suddenly, but slowly. Through patterns you never question. And that's how damage happens. Quietly, without you noticing, until it's already affected everything. And here's the truth. Destruction doesn't announce itself. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't feel serious in the moment. It feels normal, routine, familiar. That's why it continues, day after day, without interruption, without awareness, until one day, you feel it. The weight, the lack of progress, the feeling that something is wrong, and you don't know why. Because nothing big happened. No major failure. Just small behaviors. Repeated over time. That's what changed everything. That's what shaped your life. Quietly. Without you noticing. But here's what matters. The same way your life was shaped, it can be reshaped. Because once you see these patterns, you gain control. You can stop them. You can interrupt them. You can choose differently. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But consciously. Because change doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from small ones, repeated daily. The choice to act. The choice to focus. The choice to follow through. Even when it's hard. Even when it's uncomfortable. That's what creates change. So if you recognize these behaviors, don't ignore them. Don't delay. Because the longer they continue, the more they cost you. But the moment you stop them, everything begins to shift. Slowly, but clearly. One decision at a time.